When it comes to shopping in clothes, I am a big believer in quality over quantity. Obviously, I would love it if I could have both, but unfortunately there are other things in my life that I must spend money on, like rent and food. I've always been quite cautious with my money and good at budgeting. When I was younger, I couldn't afford or just didn't let myself spend a lot of money on any one single item. I tended to go for lots of cheaper little things. But now that I'm older, I've found that there are some things that I find worthy of spending a bit more on. I'm definitely the kind of person who loves getting good value for money, so today I thought I would tell you about which are the sort of items that I buy cheap and which things I think are worth splurging on if you can afford it. I'm going to start off with the most expensive non-technology thing that I own, just to get out of the way, and that is my Michael Kors Selma handbag. Before I got this bag, I would find myself buying a new handbag around every 6 months because I just bought really cheap ones and they'd wear out really fast, and I just ended up in this cycle of constantly buying handbags, and I thought I should get out of it. I decided that I wanted to invest in a handbag that I really loved and that would last me a long time, and this one was definitely a good choice. I got it over a year ago now and I still love it. It's still in awesome condition and I can tell it's going to last me a really long time. I think a good quality handbag that has got a nice classic style that won't date quickly is a great thing to splurge on. Designer handbags can sometimes be a little bit over the top, so just do your research and pick out one you're not going to get sick of and that suits all your needs, and then you're making a good investment, I think. And if you want to see a blog post with more of a review of my Selma bag, then I'll leave a link to that down below. Another thing that I don't bat an eyelid over spending money on is a good pair of shoes. I do a lot of walking, so shoes that last are always worth it for me. In saying that, I definitely wouldn't spend as much on a pair of shoes as I did on my handbag, but then again, everyone's definition of splurging is different, and that's totally okay. As an example, I happily paid about 150 New Zealand dollars for my pair of leather winter boots. Like with the handbag, I used to have to buy a new pair of boots every single year because I would wear out the old ones, and I just got sick of hunting for shoes all the time, so I decided to spend money on a good pair that have lasted me well. Some of the things that I always buy cheaply are things like singlet tops and leggings and tights, those sort of basics that you just are constantly wearing under stuff. I find that the quality of those doesn't change a huge bunch when you go like to a designer brand or like Primark level. Like you can find stuff that's perfectly fine in Primark, so I prefer to buy cheaply for those things when I can. In winter, things like scarves and hats are good things to buy cheap as well, because it means that you can get a couple of them. I've got these two here are both from Primark actually, and you can change up your look by wearing different scarves, and they sort of do the same job as an expensive one would because it's like a warm thing around your neck. I also don't like spending money on super trend-based things that I want to try out, or things that I can't really wear to work, like crop tops or shorts for example, because if I'm spending money on something, I want to make sure that I can get a lot of wear out of it. And I think I've heard people refer to that before as cost per wear, which I quite like. It's kind of hard to define actually what kind of clothes I don't mind splurging on, because it's not a particular thing like skirts or jeans, but it's more if the piece is interesting but not in a trend-based way. Take this top from Miss Selfridge for example. This cost me around 70 New Zealand dollars, which is way more than I normally would spend on a top, but I got it because I felt like it was really special. I really like all the lace detailing and the lining, and I felt like it really suited me, so that's what made it worth spending money on. Some other things like that are my cream jumper with the gold ombre, and also my black cape from Zara. Unlike the handbag or the boots, these aren't items that I consciously went out looking for, they're just things that I stumbled across when I was browsing in stores. When splurging on standout items like that though, I always try and make sure that I'm not buying them because they're a trend, I'm buying them because they really appeal to me, and that I would still like them just as much if I hadn't seen my favourite blogger or YouTuber wearing something similar. Sometimes the items that stand out are trends, and if I decide that they still fit my personal style and I would still like them even if that trend wasn't in fashion at the moment, that's when I let myself splurge on it. So I guess to sum up, items that are bound to wear out anyway, or are boring, or I can't wear much, I try and save on. But a good bag, good shoes, and special pieces that define my style, I am happy to splurge on. I know everyone has a different definition of cheap, just like everyone has a different definition of what is expensive, but I'd love to know what you guys like to save or splurge on, because we all have different priorities, I'm sure, and I think it would be interesting to talk about. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Next week I will have a design video for you, so make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for that. and I will see you then. Bye.